comfortable.
All right, so he's still making his way along the Department of Treasury over there. Pretty soon, that limo is going to be making a left turn and coming up right behind the White House onto the right in front of the reviewing stand. President will go in to the White House, and then maybe they'll freshen up a little bit before they go out to the reviewing stand.
It's always such a special moment when the president and the first lady get out of the beast, the limousine.
Well, they're stopping right now.
We'll see
Let's
if
see
that
what
happens
happens,
one more time.
because remember 4 years ago
they
did get back out. Let's see if they do get back out right now.
I'll tell you, maybe it was just my impression, but as we were watching them walk this time, and then the limousine stopped for them to get back in, it almost looked like the president himself was not ready to get back in because he spent some time waving. I mean, you do realize from his perspective, this is the last time he's also going to be able to get this. So, and he had said leading in that he wanted to soak this up, this whole experience, because this is a very special moment for the family as well.
He wants to savor every minute. All right, the limo has stopped. Let's see what happens. The doors are now open. All right, the Secret Service is getting out. You know what that means. That means that the president and the first lady, the final 100 yards or so, they're going to walk. They're going to walk into the White House. The crowd's right behind me over here. They are about to go crazy as the president, there he is.
No one's going to be able to hear us.
Oh my God, they're going to be so excited. Wait till they see the president and the first lady walk the final 100, maybe 200 yards until they walk right into the north lawn of the White House and they go into that reviewing stand.
Well, if I think this verbate that we were passed along, that the president said as he was leaving the Capitol after the inauguration, going back into the Capitol, really hits home right now. He said, "I want to take a look one more time. I'm not going to see this again." And you can say that again right now.
All right, let's listen and watch as the president and the first lady walk towards the White House. Secret Service Police Escort. Christy, Paul, I hope you can hear me. I know the president's getting very close to where you are. Do you see him?
I don't. Oh, yes. Actually, I do. He is right behind here. Obviously, the flatbed trucks. And, Wolf, I don't know if you heard me before, but people are literally jumping up and down in the stands as they see him. They're pointing. They're snapping pictures. They're holding their babies high so they can see them as well. I do see the First Lady and the President now, and you can hear the crowd behind me. You have to wonder what this is like for him. You know, the last time around he did this, it was his first term. You never know if there's going to be a second term. So you have to wonder how different it feels this time for him. Now, I'll try to be ambitious here and ask him, but based on the crowd, I don't think he's going to hear me.
Hey, Christy, just go for it. Shout a question to the president. Ask him how he feels. Ask him how the First Lady feels, especially if you can. He'll hear you. He'll say something. Go ahead. Go ahead, Christy. Christy, did you hear?
Alrighty, I did. Okay, go ahead, Wolf. I think I can hear you now.
All right, did you shout a question? Did he respond?
No, he was talking was kind of talking to the crowd as he was walking by, pointing fingers, waving. You can hear the announcer here, Charlie Brotman, as he announces the president and the first lady walking right in the middle of the road there, obviously with the motorcade behind him. But people are, it's just so fun to see the reactions in the stands, Wolf, as people go crazy, waving. They've got people up here waving flags, and as I said, holding babies and literally jumping up and down, almost like they're at a rock concert. I think it was Jim Acosta who said he's like a rap star with every new block that he gets on, and that was a great analogy. They're just coming up now, Wolf, I think next to you as they get closer, just a few steps closer. They're just a couple of steps away here from the presidential viewing stand, and will be taking their seats. What do you see, Wolf?
I see the president right now. He's approaching where we are. I see the president and the first lady. They're right over here with Jeffrey Toobin and with Kate Baldwin. I'm going to see if I can grab his attention, see if he wants to maybe Mr. President.
He's not quite here
He's
yet.
not going to hear me.
We'll try, though.
It's very, very noisy over here. But
you can imagine why.
Yeah, he's literally getting closer and closer. He's getting closer to the reviewing stand where we are.
See him. Wave to him, Wolf.
Mr. President. Hey, Mr. President, how you doing? Let's see.
The crowd's going wild, obviously.
Let's see if I stand up.
Let's see if the president can see us. Mr. President.
Mr. President, how you doing? Hey, Mr. President. Let's see. This is Obama. I don't know if they see me.
I believe Michelle was cheering, "Yes, we can," as she was just walking past us, Wolf. They're walking past the reviewing stand right now. We'll see where they're heading.
You know, this
is a unique thing even for you, Wolf. You've seen a lot of things.
I saw the first lady. There's the first lady over there.
What's this like, Wolf? What do you think?
Well, you know, we're spectators.
We sure are.
We're tourists here in Washington.
We're making a mess as well. Here, sit down.
I think this is my BlackBerry interfering with this.
It's okay. Sit down. So what do you make of this whole thing?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I got a lot of static.
At the reviewing stand, the United States Secret Service Uniform Division, under the command of Chief Kevin Simpson, and the United States Service Color Guard, led by Sergeant Salvatore.
All right, we're back in business now. We're back in business. There's the president right now. It's a little strange to see what was going on. It was, look, this is history over here.
Absolutely. And I think it is so great that they get out of the car. You know, the people deserve to see their president, and it is so much better when they're walking rather than that enormous car.
He seems pretty happy. She seems very happy. As they get closer and closer, they're going to be walking into the White House, and then they're going to go to the reviewing stand, Kate, and enjoy the parade like all of us.
You know what, Wolf? If you are in political life and this doesn't make you happy, you really picked the wrong profession. Because this is really pretty much as good as it gets. Screaming thousands of people.
Right, exactly.
At beginning your second term as president of the United States, this is good stuff.
I'm just looking back here at some of the fans, the spectators that are sitting behind us, and they're really all just kind of looking as if they're pinching themselves and taking pictures of each other, and they seem just as surprised as all as we were that the president walked all the way here.
Jeffrey, you'll remember, this is Pennsylvania Avenue. He's right in front of the north lawn of the White House right now, approaching 17th Street from 15th Street. And remember, this used to be a regular street.
That's
Cars
right.
could go by, but after the Oklahoma City bombing, they shut the Pennsylvania down to regular traffic, and there's no real traffic. There's Secret Service cars that can go up and down there.
Of those cars
People can walk there, but no more traffic as a result of what happened at Oklahoma City.
And that was, of course, several years even before 9/11. That was 1994, and the city is less accessible than it used to be, and it's really a lot of Washingtonians. I'm not a native, but they really feel very sad that Pennsylvania Avenue is closed. That was part of living in Washington that you could drive by the president's house, and you can't do it anymore. Although
No.
you can walk by, and
You can
tourists
walk.
do it all the
Yeah,
time.
do it all the time.
You can park at 17th and Penn and
Right.
go for a walk and walk in front of the north lawn of the White House, walk around and you can see what's going on. There's the Vice President of the United States watching, waving. They're all pretty excited. And they repaved Pennsylvania Avenue. You see how nicely it's paved?
Right.
Because there's no traffic there. It's just basically a pedestrian area where people can go and enjoy the White House. I don't know what is Dr. Jill Biden. Have you seen Dr.
I
Jill
was
Biden?
just trying to see that as well. I couldn't see that actually. So now they will at some point make their way to the reviewing stand, and then the performances for them shall begin. And we know there's a lot ahead. But they really do seem to just kind of be soaking this all in.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the marching bands. Did I mention I'm looking forward to the floats as well?
I don't think you mentioned it enough.
Wolf, you staked out a clearly pro-float
Yes,
position.
I have
He's
think.
very
Yes,
pro-float. He's very pro-float in this,
You
in this show.
You like the Macy's Day Parade? You're a New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker. I like the Macy's a lot. I like the floats.
Yeah.
You know, they have big balloons, but we're not going to have big balloons.
We'll have nice floats here.
Yeah.
Very nice patriotic floats. Red, a lot of red, white, and blue here at
Absolutely.
at this parade.
We
there
may
she
even
is.
see a volcano on a float in my research I read. So
What's the volcano represent?
that will be on the Hawaii float.
Oh, really, that's very exciting.
Yes. See, I am a endless, boundless fountain of knowledge on the floats this time around.
Done a lot of research on the floats.
Yes.
Well, so far we haven't seen any of those floats, but we will be seeing them.
We sure
And
will.
we're going to let our viewers enjoy this parade here. I think it's fair to say this is a special edition of the Situation Room.
I think it's
right
fair
here.
to say.
Very
And
special.
I think it's also fair to say that Vice President Biden is enjoying himself as well.
I don't
he
know.
sure looked happy when we just saw that image of him.
Vice President Biden, and you know this well, Jeffrey, always seems to be pretty happy.
You know, they are so different. I mean,
Look at him.
You know, Joe Biden was born to be a politician,
Yeah.
sort of like Bill Clinton or even Chuck Schumer, who we saw so much of today. I mean, these are people who really live off this sort of interaction with crowds. Barack Obama is a little different kind of character. He is a more reserved, more cerebral kind of person, although he seems to be having a very good time himself, too.
Looks like they're going to get back in the limo for the final little drive into the White House. I guess that's what they're going to do.
It's worth looking at that door to that limo.
Yeah.
Look how thick that
not too
door
thick,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. That's not a Honda.
That's not your typical Cadillac. That's
No,
a
no.
Cadillac.
Yes, it is a Cadillac.
That's not something that you just go and say, I'll take one of those.
That's
you know?
right. But with a different paint job.
Yeah, give me the...
He really, I mean, he does not even look like he wants to get back in. He really does seem to be enjoying himself. Gentlemen, I would like to tell you might want to turn around right now because the Vice President and Dr. Biden are about to approach and pass us once again.
Let's see if we can do it again. Let's see if Joe Biden or
Give it the old
Dr.
college
Joe
try.
Biden will recognize and will say, I'm going to have to stand up. But once I stand up, all my wires here, they sort of fall apart.
You might be able to see him. They are very excited to see him.
Let's see if they're... Hey, I'm waving.
You're waving.
Mr. Vice President, come on up here. Talk to me. Hey, Mr. Vice President. I don't think he wants to talk to me.
I think he cannot hear you is probably what we're doing with.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Vice President.
From the presidential
Mr.
review.
Vice President.
The Vice President of the United States,
He's waving.
Joe Biden, and
He's-
Dr. Jill Biden.
He's happy.
Yeah.
I think he was waving at Kate Baldwin. No, he was definitely not waving at me.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, of course.
I know. I don't like to brag, but very
You know,
special day for them. as
Barack
well.
Obama has made his last passage on one of these parades. Who knows? Joe Biden may be back.
What do you think?
I think if it were up to Joe Biden, he'd be back.
Yeah.
I think he's older than he would be even older than Ronald Reagan did when he ran for president the first time.
Uh-oh.
But look at him; he looks in great shape.
He's
Nobody
going
likes
in.
it better.
He's doing a little rope line over there. He sees some young kids. He decides that he's going to improvise a little bit. He's right below us over here in our area.
Just what the Secret Service do not want to hear. The Vice President is improvising.
Right.
Yeah, this is, you know, you see he's a national-born politician.
Oh, God.
This is Joe Biden in his element, for sure.
Yeah. Probably went, it's a little different than all those parades in Wilmington, Delaware he probably used to do. July 4th parades.
I was a member of the Secret Service saying, please, Mr. Vice President, don't run towards the side again. No,
Right.
I'm just kidding.
He's having a good time.
Sure is.
You know, and he's become so much more, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeffrey, the last few weeks, he seems to be everywhere, Joe Biden.
Well, and I think that really is, and it's no coincidence that people are talking more about his running for president. He closed the deal on the debt ceiling with Mitch McConnell. He was the spokesman for the gun initiative. These are high-profile roles that presidents don't have to give to vice presidents. This is how important Joe Biden has become in this administration.
They clearly have an incredible relationship. Gloria Borger just spent some time with the vice president. Gloria, if you can hear me, talk a little bit about what we're seeing right now.
I think you're seeing vintage Joe Biden. This is the Joe Biden that those of us who have covered him for quite some time know pretty well. I mean, it's unvarnished. This isn't his parade. This is not his parade, but he's kind of turning it into his parade. I think he knows, Wolf, that this could be his last parade unless he does run again, and he wouldn't commit to me one way or another. I think he's surely thinking about it, but we were talking here about how fit Joe Biden is for a man his age. And when I interviewed him in the old executive office building on Friday. Look at him run, and that's how he walks down the hall at the old EOB, and stops to talk to everybody, and irrepressible.
He's also a little bit of a goof. Like, he likes to have fun. You know, when you have donors come into the White House who don't feel like they always get enough attention, and it's not the president's favorite thing to pay them a lot of attention, sometimes Vice President Biden will pop out and suddenly they end up in his office and he's the one who's really taking care of folks, or a staffer whose family is coming to visit, who spent a ton of time. He's the one who shows the touch.
Enjoy a parade as much as he's enjoying this?
And here's the
He's
thing.
loving this.
Here's the thing about Joe Biden. That Joe Biden is one of these. He's one of these sort of visceral, touchy, hug you politicians who comes up to you right in your face when he talks to you.
His heart is right out there.
Let's remember, he's lucky to be alive. He is in great health now, but he was at the abyss with the brain issue years ago, and he just loves this. And you see, he is the ultimate happy warrior, if you will.
Exactly.
He loves every part of politics. He loves getting into the nitty-gritty and cutting those deals with Mitch McConnell. He's been critical to the president in that regard, but he loves this stuff, and I think Gloria's right. In the front of his mind, he wants to run, and he hopes this is his parade 4 years from now. But in the back of his mind, he has to know he's 70 years old. You never know what twist will be in American politics. So like the president, very different personalities, but I think the thing we have seen, and Wolf and Kate, you've been closer to it, the thing we have seen front and center is they are both taking their time to soak this
Look
in
at him.
and enjoy the moment.
He's running, he's doing laps on the parade route here.
Don't you think he knows the eyes of the country are on him?
Sure.
And at 70, he's showing just how vigorous he is, how much he enjoys politics.
Right.
He has sort of an infectious optimism and infectious happiness that goes with happy warrior.
And David, you know, the thing is, I think he's finally found his zone in terms of his job. The president and he have sort of figured out a relationship that really works for them, and I think he feels useful.
My sense is the longer he's in the public spotlight, the less Barack Obama's a lame duck.
Well, that's an excellent point. And I think if we're waiting now, the president and the vice president are on the White House grounds. They can go inside and freshen up a bit. Their family, friends, top aides are in that big reviewing stand out front. They will be in there soon to watch what is the main event of this part of the celebration, the parade. You see, that's the presidential reviewing stand right there, the White House right behind it. They've put that thing up every 4 years, and it makes Pennsylvania Avenue a great place. This is our version of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and the president has the best seat right out front. As we wait for the parade, the moments, you know, you talk about these two men, they're very different. Joe Biden will be interesting to watch in the next couple of years. In your interview earlier, just right out of the vice presidential playbook. Sure, I help out, but only because the president gives me the portfolio. Sure, they trust me, but only because they know the president will take any deal I take. I think one thing that'll be fascinating to watch, the president laid out some heavy lifts today. we now have Joe Biden and some other potential 2016 guys talking gun control, an issue Democrats ran from after Al Gore lost in 2000. Is there any point over the next 2 years where perhaps, like Clinton and Gore, suddenly the vice president's office starts to think, is this good for me?
Well, I think the one thing Biden said to me, and we're going to show this part of the interview later, is I said, is there any way you might not run? And his answer to that was, if the economy tanks, if things don't go well, it's not going to be great for me, was his sort of implication. If things work well, let's take a look at it then. And that's where they have to work together to turn the economy around, because that's, of course, what it's going to be about in 2016.
I assume even if he decided not to run, he would keep that a secret as long as he could, because that's his leverage, isn't it, David Gergen? We knew in the second term Dick Cheney was not going to run in the Bush years, and you saw he lost some foreign policy issues. In the first term, he was dominant. Condoleezza Rice won on some issues in the second term, and he was not a force, as big a force anyway, in the Republican Party, because people knew he was not going to be on the electoral battlefield.
I think that's right, John. And from his point of view, what he also is not, he has to worry not only about whether Hillary Clinton's going to get in, not only about his own age and health, he has to worry about the overall success of this partnership. He has a very strong self-interest in seeing Barack Obama succeed, because, as you well know, after 8 years of one party being in office, it's not easy to hold on to that office. Right. And one of the things that helped to elect George H.W. Bush at the end of Reagan was that Reagan went out on a high. He had some trouble in the second term, but he went out on a high, and that really helped Bush get elected. And I think that's very important for Biden that President Obama succeed.
I just missed this one, but the last vice president before George H.W. Bush was Martin Van Buren.
Biden has constantly been in and out of the doghouse for saying things that he wasn't supposed to say for the longest time. And right now, he is in, as Gloria is saying, just the perfect sweet spot for him, because he has succeeded. The challenge is, I'm trying to emphasize this about the speech. We don't know what the president wants to do in his second term. There was such a litany of agenda items. It's, less is more. There was too much more in this speech, and that, I think, is the trap for him now, for Biden.
I think that it was a bold list the president puts out. The question is, what's the priority? What does he go to first? In the sweetest spot for the parade, Wolf Blitzer.
Across from that reviewing stand, we're waiting for the president and the first lady, the vice president, the second lady, the marching bands. They're all getting ready to start walking in front of that review.